Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is a podcast that's here to cheer you up in a sense, not directly, not in the traditional sense of cheer you up. I don't know if you ever got the sense. Do you ever feel pressure of, like, if someone says they're going to cheer you up? Does that make you want to crumble with expectations like me? You see, I don't know if I can handle you coming over and cheering me up. That's way too much pressure on me. How about this? We just agree not to be, like, you keep your cheer. I'm aware you're cheery, and I'm glad you reached out to me to schedule time to cheer me up. Is this what, like, Eeyore's friends with, like, Winnie the Pooh and stuff? I wonder if do they ever have these kind of conversations alone? Or does Eeyore ever wish they had their own podcast and they're like, I wish I had a podcast where I could just be honest with people. And they'd say, Eeyore, you're always honest. Eeyore, what's a podcast? There you go again, Eeyore. We're coming over to cheer you up. I say, well, as a matter of fact, you get honey everywhere. Like, I do have a point. I realize that, but, you know, if we're stuffed animals, as one of the theories goes, we shouldn't have anything to do with honey. Come on. So anyway, if you're new, you may be like, this dude has no idea what he's talking about on so many levels. And I'd say you're probably right, but I really am here to do the bedtime equivalent of low pressure cheering you up, which is barely, I'm cheerish. I'm on the quiet side of cheer. I mean, I think that's, except I talk nonstop. So I'm glad you're here. If you are new, this show is very different. It's called Sleep With Me. It's a podcast to put you to sleep. I've been doing this about 10 years. And what I found is, one, it's an honor to be here to try to put you to sleep. And two, I'm really here to take your mind off stuff and keep you company so you could fall asleep, just like I'm not here to cheer you up or cheer for the home team. If they don't win, like, why do they use that word? And, but you know what I'm saying? I'm here to keep you company, to be your friend in the deep, dark night. It does take some getting used to, because before I made Sleep With Me, the idea of, like, sleep audio was like that it's supposed to put you to sleep in some sort of direct manner, instead of the idea of, like, hey, could I just call a friend and they talk to me about nothing? And then they get confused, and then they, posit, wait a second, because part of it does make sense, right? I mean, I'm not positive about any of it, but it's like, if you're a stuffed animal and you've become sentient and you have a degree of independence, like you say, I'm a stuffed animal, I somehow became conscious and sentient and mobile. I think I've been anthropomorphized, but, and I'm living independently. So I don't want to have anything to do with honey. Anything sticky, keep it away from me. I mean, I'm trying to maintain a degree of mobility, cleanliness, and not just being sticky, right? Like, what if I want, I don't know. There probably aren't magazines anymore in this world I'm imagining. But if there were, I can imagine. Oh wait, I'm supposed to introduce the sleep podcast. I got to get to the sorry, Eeyore and whatever plush-based beings I'm speculating on. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast to put you to sleep. And I'm glad you're here. Give it a few tries. Structurally, we got support. That's how we let people. We got sponsor support first, and that's how most people like to listen, is this ad-supported free version of the show, and they listen linearly. After the support is a long intro, probably be a little bit shorter because I've gone on so much already, but that's meant to ease you into bedtime. Then there'll be sponsor support. Then I guess I got an idea for an episode from this intro, so we'll see where that goes. I thought it was going to be about something, but now it'll be about something else. And I think that's it. So I'm glad you're here. I work really hard, and these sponsors are how we're able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scooter, and this one's for super listeners. You listen 4, 5, 6, 7 nights a week. You've listened 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or more. In this podcast, there's no other replacement for you. Like, this podcast is a part of your life. I just said it. Podcast is part of your life. You're a part of this thing. And, that's really important to me. Being here night after night after night, year after year after year. But super listeners, we built Sleep With Me Plus with you in mind because you're different than a regular listener. The show's a part of your life. For a lot of other people, it's just something that they go when they need it. They listen to a few episodes before their job interview or as they're getting over their breakup or whatever it is that's going on. And they wind down during the intro, they fall asleep during the story, and then they come back to the show when they need it again. But if this show's a part of your regular routine, we built Sleep With Me Plus with that in mind, with people who listen every night, with people that have opinions about the show. You like certain things, other things don't work for you. You could build your playlist. Everything you want to find on Sleep With Me Plus, whether it's all intros, story-only episodes. And you could try it out with a free trial and see if it's a better experience. And you can check that out at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. All right, everybody, this is Scoots here. This is an episode, I don't know, it's about plush friends. I don't know, it was like these episodes that's coming out of an intro, which I know is thinking about different, things that, of all of the things I know few things about, Winnie the Pooh's one of them. And it's strange, I think it's Winnie the Pooh that I have an archetypal memory of the movie. I think there was a Winnie the Pooh movie because I think the Huffalumps are like what Winnie the Pooh dreams of when too much honey's consumed. And I'm pretty sure I saw those in a motel, that movie in a motel room, and the images of the Huffalumps did not sit well with me as a child. I just have a memory of that, but it could have been Dumbo or. Where's the one with the kids, Pinocchio too? One of those ones with a weird dream sequence, So this is probably why I don't know that much about Winnie the Pooh, even though I know the Winnie the Pooh song. So I probably know more about Winnie the Pooh. It's just been put away, filed away for podcasts 4 or 5 years down the road when suddenly a torrent of Winnie the Pooh memories is unleashed. But I was thinking, and this isn't, meant to like a knock on Winnie the Pooh, but if you were made of plush, you wouldn't want to be around no offense, but I don't know if I would want to be friends with someone who is, eats a lot of honey or any sap, like anybody. I don't want to come in contact with any sap either. Because, made of plush, and that would probably go for oils. What other things would I try to avoid? Probably a lot of stuff, but sap or honey particularly wouldn't be great. And, I always think about Pillow Pet, my daughter's Pillow Pet, which is a flat plush. Hers was a cow. I can't even remember. Sorry, Pillow Pet. But we've had, I don't know if we've done 2 episodes with Pillow Pet. But Pillow Pet kind of is our resident plush, who is out there, somewhere out there in the world adventuring. It's funny because here's the thing. If you, recently, about 6 months ago, we were staying at a hotel, and I had this really nice thing. Because sometimes I buy sleep products on my own because I see them advertised or they're getting all this hype. And I say, well, I should buy that and test it out because the listeners are going to probably ask me about it. Or, all the sleep experts are talking about it. Let me try it. Most of the time, the companies won't sponsor the podcast. I have no idea why that all these sleep products are out there. And, a lot of them just want a partnership, which means... Scoots, you could talk about our product for free or it's just funny. But this company never did that. But I did buy their product, and it's like it's similar to a sleeping bag liner, like one of those sleeping bags that really snugs you in. And I bought it because I said, well, this is interesting. And I tried it for a while myself, but I discovered for me a weighted comforter works a lot better. And I think this thing's called a pod, something pod, but it's very much like a thin sleeping bag, but like it's very comforting. It does hug you. Or maybe that's what it's called, a hug. But anyway, my point is now not anymore because it's too like, I would bring this product with us when we traveled because here's the thing. I would always, like, if I'm really being like the best parent I can be and we're staying at a hotel, I'll bring that I would have brought that and a blanket for my daughter because I don't know what it is with hotels. So like they don't really have a lot of blankets. Usually maybe there's one extra blanket in the room, but I like to sleep at I follow hygiene, but it's just also personal. I like to have the room very cool. But so I'll provide my daughter with those two things. But she left that thing, even though it's gray, it got left in the hotel bed. And when they cleared out the bed, this got lost with it, and they were never able to recover it. Even though they found a blanket in my room. They said, oh, we found it. And I said, no, that's a blanket. I showed you a picture of this thing, but it wasn't recoverable. And that's kind of what happened at Pillow Pet, too, which is just weird. To me, let's just say I was not pleased because for the second time, for the first time I haven't happened at Disney World. So I'm like, oh, they probably have a central processing place. I guess they still don't understand how they didn't find it. But, and the same for this one, I said, well, maybe the hotel sends their laundry out, but still. So anyway, these things happen. Lesson not learned, but hopefully be learned in the future. Don't leave things in your hotel bed, personal items in your hotel bed. It's that simple. They're going to strip everything, even if they're not doing it every day. I don't know what happens. Okay. But Pillow Pet, and I guess Pillow Pet has not met up with this blanket, but or whatever, a sleep device. But I was thinking, like, of Pillow Pet and all the plush out there. A lot of plush probably listen to the podcast, inadvertently. You don't have a choice. I guess I haven't pandered to all of you. And I do like to pander. Holy cow, I'm a people pleaser. So I should be a plush pleaser too. And so, I don't know, maybe I'll just take the time. Cause I was like, okay, I'm assuming, but I think it's a pretty strong assumption that if you're a plush, you'd prefer not a sterile environment, but a relatively clean environment. Maybe once in a while you have to get washed. I don't know. I think your probably opinions are varied on that. So, but maybe you all have your own opinions on being washed. And sure, there's spot wash. Might be nice. So I don't know. I was thinking like we could just run through some stuff about plush and on our Pillow Pet. We could pretend Pillow Pet is here. Like if Pillow Pet, if you can hear me, I'm going to try to embody your answers for all the plush listening out there. Because here's the thing, I'm not pandering when I say this, plush or stuffed animals or teddy bears or plush, I don't know what else, stuffies, bedtime buds. You are an important part of people's lives. My daughter's in high school. She got a new plush over the holidays, and for a famous one from the movies who's dressed as their plush and who's one of the many people that likes bananas. She was bringing that to school for a little while. So other than sap or honey or oils, what other things should we know as people to keep away from you? Like, if I'm just asking and I'm putting myself out, okay, hard candy, especially, okay, this is good. So hard candy, obviously that makes sense, especially if it's been in your mouth. Okay, that makes sense a lot. Noted. And obviously don't sleep with gum in your mouth because if it doesn't get in your hair, it could get on your, here's the strangest thing, plush friends. I'm trying to walk through my childhood memories of going to bed chewing gum and wondering what I was thinking anyway, right? Because that does happen to kids. I mean, that's a pretty universal experience. And yeah, thinking about you, plush, it would be even worse for all of you because, so let's walk through this. Number one thing that I'm talking about right now, you shouldn't go to bed. Protect your plushes from gum and hard candy. Obviously hard candy a little bit less so. But what was it? Is it just kids are kids born after like 1999 smarter than, do they go to bed with gum in their mouth? Pretty sure it's happened to my daughter, but I don't mean not, like, I can't remember a specific memory of it. Maybe I can, but it's so archetypal. But some of you might be laughing, so I do have to go through this. So at some point in my life, and a lot of people's lives, and I can only imagine that here's like, okay, let's run through, let's get a little personal essay on here. Okay, so there's two gum memories I have. So I'm thinking that what happened is, for me, that there was some sort of rebellious freedom of thrill and independence aligned with this gum, and maybe a little bit of illicit thrill of rebellion. So I never, my relationships with plush, holy cow, I'm probably breaking some plushes heart out there. I had a couple plushes that I remember, but I'd have to, I don't know, I tend to have moved on from the little Andy's days. But so this would have been after I had a plush. By the way, my plushes were a teddy bear, Teddy, I think. And Raggedy Andy, of course, because my name was Andy. And those are the two plushes I know of. Also, I think I've talked about this, and I actually have this one. Was this from Mr. Rogers or another show? I probably talked about this, though. These weren't plushes, but one year, my sister, my brother, and I were gifted. We got matching gifts, which were on, I think it was on Mr. Rogers. So Mr. Rogers, they'd go to the World of Pretend or the Land Far, like the trolley would go there, and it would be a world with hand puppets. And the hand puppets I remember were, I don't really remember. There was a king, and then there was probably, I would assume, like a court. Then there was like some sort of bird. My sister had the bird or something like a bird. Maybe there was a spellcaster. So I don't know, but I had the king of loving land stuff, the king of far, far away. I guess we'll have to look this up after, but let's talk about the gum first, and then we'll see if I can remember anything, trying to think. I'd like to know, because so we each got one of those puppets, and the puppet was interesting. It had a plastic head, so the only thing you could do is say yes or no and move the hands, but then the body was kind of like a stuffed sack, and then it had little arms you could move that were just like loose material you'd put your fingers in. So you put one finger in their head, and then your thumb and your middle finger in their arms. So let me put this in here. Mr. Rogers neighborhood. Okay, so we'll look that up later. But so there's two major gum, and this is like this is also interesting because I just had a gum that tasted like one of these. Oh no, it didn't. I'm sorry. I don't know if this gum still exists. It shouldn't. As much as I have a positive love of this one kind of gum, the other kind does exist in different forms. And I would assume this is when I had my paper route, because that's when I had some financial freedom to buy stuff like this. So I'm guessing that both these sets of gum did end up in my hair, and I purchased it with money for my paper route. Because other than that, maybe it was some sort of like life event that I got money for. Though when I had my paper route, I should have known better than to go to bed chewing gum. So it could have been some other time I had extra money. But so there's two kinds of gum that I would have purchased and been thrilled, because one, both of them came in copious amounts. And one is a kind of intergenerational gum, which is, there's two kinds. One is called Zucker Joe's gum, I'm going to say, or Double Bubble. Those were the competing brands. And you could buy it in a box. It came in a box when I was like, holy cow, I feel now, I've never said this, but I feel old saying this. But this was like a gum that you would chew and you'd be like, my grandparents chewed this gum. And then you'd move on, because the gum came with like comic, like it came wrapped up and it would come with a comic inside the gum. And these are the only, I think only Zucker Joe's came with that. I don't know if Double Bubble came with, oh, no, Double Bubble's something different anyway. There was also Hubba Bubba. There was gum there's a lot of gums that were made to look like different tobacco products, which is interesting. Starter gums, we called those. But so I don't know, Double Bubble, was that the other one? But anyway, Zucker Joe's would come. It was a flat piece of gum. It was a rectangle. It was pink, but when you opened it, first there was a wrapper, then there was a comic. The gum would usually have some powder on it. I don't know if it to keep it from, keep it dry. Keep your gum dry, man. And especially if you have stuffed animals. And then it would have the comic, and then you would chew the gum. And it was bubble gum. Maybe it was Double Bubble. Did I say that already? I can't remember, but this one was Zucker Joe's, I'm pretty sure. And you would read the comic. The comics were from another generation, so I wouldn't read them very closely. Sometimes there'd be a joke on there or something, but it was very tactile and cool to have. And the gum was like, it definitely was not great for like someone that had a lot of fillings like I did. It was hard to start. It had like a typical gum flavor. It wasn't good, or it was more good than not great tasting, but it wasn't like the kind of gum you were like, oh boy, is this delicious. And then if you bought that, then you may have the instinct, like I did, to put like, you want to be like a kid chewing gum on TV. So you might put like two things of gum in your mouth. And so I could see that gum that I bought a box of gum. Then I put two things of gum, like my parents were like, chewing gum, after 6. But as soon as my parents turned their backs, I got in bed with a mouthful of gum. Which how do people not? How does even a kid not see that? Or I guess if I was a parent, I'd say, how does gum end up your hair twice? I can see once. But even so, especially for a kid like me that was always on the lookout for what was going to happen, how was I not aware that, dude, if you're chewing gum when you're falling asleep, you're going to fall asleep with gum in your mouth, which is no good possible outcome. Maybe you wake up with it on your cheek, which I can feel. So, could have been Zucker Joe's gum. And that would have been, I would have probably had two pieces in my mouth and fallen asleep chewing it after I brushed my teeth, of course. Or maybe I said, I don't need to brush my teeth. This gum will do it. So that was one kind of gum. The other kind of gum, and let's look this one up now. Well, we have Mr. Rogers open, but let's open up another tab here. So this kind of gum was called fruit stripe gum. And what I remember about it was also, no offense to any gum companies, but Juicy Fruit is another gum I'll put in this category. Incredibly flavorful for moments. Fruit stripe gum was the most delicious gum, for about 2 minutes of your life. You say, this is going to be the best 2 minutes of chewing gum. I mean, you never said that, because you just say, I can't believe the flavor's gone. Now I need another one. And it came in a gigantic pack. Like, I'm talking, most gum comes like 6 sticks to a pack. I don't know. This one would come with like, 36 pieces of gum or something. And they were fruit stripes. So it was like, normally like adult-based gums were pretty plain colored. But this one had stripes, different color stripes. I don't know if it had different flavors of fruit. I just know it was really good tasting for a short period of time. Holy cow. News in, it just ended in 2024. And they say it has zebra stripes. So actually it had like the peppermint stripes, but in different colors. So wide stripe and thin stripes. And it also had, wait a second, you can make temporary tattoos out of the wrappers? I never heard about that. So I'll read the Wikipedia article, but it had a zebra like as its like mascot. I don't know if I'm assuming it had television commercials. But let's go. It's from Beech Nut, 1960 to 2024. And the history, according to Wikipedia, it was a 5-flavor gum from Beech Nut, James Parker, and changed a lot of different things. Then they had fruit stripe gummy candy in 2022. But yeah, 2024, wow, just this year, right not long before I recorded it, they said they're going to stop producing it. And this says there was 2 flavors, 2 types of ones produced, a chewing gum. That must have been after my time in a bubble gum, which was cherry, grape, mixed fruit, lemon, and cotton candy. Now, I don't think this is a character known as the Fruit Stripe Gum Man was used to promote the product, an anthropomorphized gum pack with limbs and face. Then striped fruity animals, zebra, tiger, elephant, and mouse. Coloring book, plush toys. Then a zebra named Yipes was the sole mascot. So that must have been Yipes Stripes advertising slogan. And then they even had temporary tattoos. Yipes was shown prominently on fruit stripe gum packaging. In 1996, they gave money to World Wildlife Fund for each pack. References, fruit stripe gum discontinued. Fruit stripe website, fruit stripe man, fruit stripe food characters. Okay, this is on Retroland. Sometimes they have good stuff here. Okay, so we're going to Retroland if it loads for us. Fruit stripe. Yes, certain scents, they say, stick to your memory banks. Fruit stripe gum, one whiff, and you'll remember it. Fluorescent stripes, colorful zebras, intense fruit flavor. But they were some wonderfully tasty minutes. Started in the 60s, and fruity flavors that seem more natural than artificial. But the flavor only lasts a little while. Yeah, and then, you just have another stick of gum. You could go through a whole pack in 20 minutes. They had a picture. Okay, so this is the same generation as me. Yeah, the zebra Yipes, who was introduced in the 60s. This was the 90s, probably, that I was eating it, or the late 80s. Yipes was still the sole mascot, temporary tattoos. So, yeah, that's about all on Fruit Stripe. What's that other one? Zucker Joe's. Let's see what that one says. Okay, Zucker Joe's is a comic strip character from, okay, we'll go to the gum. No. Okay, Zuka chewing gum. So it's just called Zuka chewing gum. 1947, that's when that one came out. It was purchased in 2023 too. It started, it was sold by Topps Trading Company, and it was wrapped in red, white, and blue. Oh, yeah, so color scheme originally sold for a penny in the 50s. It came with a small comic strip. There are over 1,535 different comic strip wrappers. And there was also offer for a premium. Older were different in size. And they had the original Tops flavor. Then then they had, all flavors probably, I guess, after my time. It's sold across the world and translated. What else we got? Like in 2012, they stopped selling comics and put brain teasers in there. And in Argentina, I mean, this is Wikipedia, but they say it's called Yo Amo Zucker. I love the Zucker. So, and then there is a picture of I guess it wasn't a box, it was a brick of candy, maybe? I don't know, a brick of gum? Maybe that makes sense. Okay, so that's a Zucker Joe's. So either one of those would have been what I had in my mouth, like when I fell asleep. And I guess the fruit stripe makes a lot of sense how that could get caught in my hair. So that makes sense that the plush would want us not to go to bed with those, with those in our mouth, right? Okay, let's head over here to Wikipedia's article on Fred Rogers and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Format. Let's see. Oh, characters. Maybe that'll help us. Characters. Okay, here's other characters. I've talked about Mr. Rogers before. Neighbor Aber, Lady Aberlin. Okay, she was the niece. Okay, I remember her. I think my sister must have had Lady Aberlin. She had a real world counterpart, Betty. Okay, Scientist Adler. Who's a scientist. He was in the real world expert and in the neighborhood of make-believe in earlier stories. Charles, a magician and friend. Natalie, Marilyn, chef. So there's a chef. Maybe one of my siblings had the chef. He was, Edgar Cook. His neighborhood... Oh, he owns Brockett's Bakery. His neighborhood of make-believe counterpart assists Edgar Cook in the kitchen. Okay, Bob Brown was in Puppeteer and Marionette Maker. Judy's Bob's wife. Michael, the son. Tony, proprietor of Tony's shop. Jose works at Brockett's Bakery. Clemens, Dr. David, Keith. Keith the Carpenter. He also gets some money from Donkey Kong arcade game. Emily the Poetry Lady. Joey, the tap dancer. Pilot Ito. Opera singer and royal pilot of King Friday the 13th. Susan. Trying to find the other characters from the neighborhood of make-believe or whatever. Miss Royal Telephone Operator. Okay, so far we just have two people from the... Okay, here we go. Neighborhood of Make-Believe is a fictional kingdom visited by Mr. Rogers during the show. Characters in the neighborhood of Make-Believe are portrayed by both hand puppets and actors. Fred Rogers was a puppeteer of a great number of characters. Colette, Cornflake, Daniel... Donkey, Edgar, Grand Pierre, Henrietta, Eno, King Friday the 13th. So I have King Friday the 13th. Lady Elaine. Okay, Lady Elaine. So Lady Elaine, my sister had, and then my brother had X the Owl, who was like, there was also Tadpole, Queen Sarah, Princess Margaret, Mrs. Frog. Okay, so that makes sense. There was also 13 in-series operas that took place during the make-believe segments. Wow. Babysitter Opera, Campsite, Teddy Bear, Ship, Pineapples and Tomatoes, Monkey's Uncle, Snow People, Potatoes, All in the Laundry. That sounds familiar. Key to the Other Land, Windstorm and Bubble Land, Spoon Mountain, A Granddad for Daniel, and A Star for Kitty. So that's interesting. All right. Well, so I think that kind of covers why I shouldn't go to bed with why plush don't like hard candy or gum. Because the typical, okay, to stay with this archetypal memory, just in case, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like if you're under like 40, have you had gum in your hair? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But what would happen is usually the strategy if you were a kid and woke up was to try to get it out of your hair or to cry. I mean, these are my strategies. No, I don't think I would cry. Maybe if I was younger, then I would just try. Then I probably did cut my own hair and, yeah, I don't know, like, cut my own hair because, I don't know, like to cover it up. I guess it's a cover up, but it doesn't work because, but then if an adult was intervened, there was two solutions. I don't know if either one worked, which was either mayonnaise or peanut butter. And I don't know. I mean, this is before the internet. So, but it's like, I don't know if either one of those, like, actually works. I know I've talked about this on the podcast before because you can remember getting emails about it. But I guess I'm like to put myself in the shoes of a plush. Here's the thing. First of all, mayonnaise should never touch a plush. I mean, I don't even need to pander. And I mean, mayonnaise is one of those those things that's not divisive, but like I can only speak for myself. I never had mayonnaise till I was 21 years old. Or 20 years old. I'm pretty sure I was 21 years old the first time I had mayonnaise, and it was Dijonnaise. It wasn't even mayonnaise. Before that, I'd lived my life being like, I'm not a person that eats mayonnaise. I have no interest in it, and I won't ever have mayonnaise. It's just not my thing. That was my philosophy on mayonnaise. And it may have been something like I read in like a children's story or something. And I still know people that were in that no mayonnaise group that are still no mayonnaise people. I am not and that like what happened for me. But let's just say I think we can all agree that if a plush could live its whole life without coming in contact with mayonnaise, that life would probably not be, wouldn't be a bad thing. Now, if a plush, becomes real, that's different. If it's going to start eating sandwiches and it has taste buds and a digestive tract and an ability, it becomes real so they can clean up easier. But I just think there's a cost to mayonnaise touching a plush because somewhere hidden deep inside that plush will always be a hint of mayonnaise. There's another chapter for my autobiography, a hint of mayonnaise. I mean, I think this is something, maybe somebody should run it like, let's say the no mayonnaise for plush. I mean, I guess somebody would take it too far, but it's like, I think that's something we could agree on. But like, so the two strategy, and I'd say peanut butter, ideally peanut butter wouldn't come in contact with the plush. I think because of children and peanut butter, ubiquitous in peanut butter on your fingers, there is a better chance that, as a plush, you may have to live your life accepting the fact that occasionally you'll come in contact with peanut butter, but that doesn't mean like that. Okay, so two things. I can hear people that are listening asking, please talk about your first your consumption of mayonnaise, because, oh, boy, I could sleep right through that. I can't, like, I can't, I don't think I could not, So, and what is this mayonnaise gum theory? Okay, so the generational knowledge, and again, you say, Scoots, what happened with your generation? Like, we thought, the world was going to be, there was all those songs. Well, one, that was a song about soda. The world will be a better place. I'd like to, but two, the generational knowledge that was passed on to us, this was considered essential adult knowledge that either mayonnaise okay, let me just speak for myself because I'm probably wrong. But it was my understanding that through my family's history, the wise ones passed down a few things. And one was that if your child gets gum in their hair, you should either use mayonnaise or peanut butter to get it out. I mean, I'm thinking as an adult, I don't have any concept that it would work with you. Like either one, like just the idea of putting mayonnaise in my daughter's hair for anything just seems like it's like if I was her, I'd be like, I don't think I still smell like mayonnaise now, Dad. And then peanut butter, I don't know. I just don't like, it takes on when it's, I don't know. It just doesn't belong on the human head either. I mean, it's slightly less, I don't know if this is the right use of this word, odious, but it's like, I mean, there's something slightly less repulsive about the idea of using peanut butter. But I think about all my experience with peanut butter, which is pretty huge. I mean, I'm a regular consumer of whole wheat bread with peanut butter and jelly or some other nut butter. I don't like it. Like, I don't like, is there any other like, was this like like Don Draper and orange juice where somebody's like, you know what, we can move more peanut butter. Like when Beech Nut Enterprises bought a peanut butter company. They're like, this is a perfect marriage. This is a whole new vertical for us. Because, like, is there any other things that people say? Oh, yeah, no, you just rub the peanut butter between your teeth. Oh, yeah, it totally changes everything. Have you tried rubbing some peanut butter on? No, like, no one says that. I mean, first of all, because people have nut allergies, but also just because it's like, peanut butter? No, here's what peanut butter is good for. Peanut butter, you know, stuff that has peanut butter in it. 2, right, like if you need to check your dog's tongue for something, and that's not a joke. Like sometimes I had to check Koa's tongue, and I just give her some peanut butter, and then it's easy. Or, you know, whatever, like peanut butter, like other than that, I don't know, was it, like, is there something I'm missing? Like, say, oh, yeah, you know what? You know how to get a stain out of marble peanut butter? Just rub some peanut butter on it. So I guess speaking for the plush, I don't know. I mean, definitely trying to never have kids. If you're listening, this is one thing I could say. Usually I say, don't do this. Do this. Like, don't ever let your plush touch mayonnaise or peanut butter because, I don't know. They're just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if like, those will actually get gum out of your hair either. I mean, I guess they could run an experiment somehow, but, I'm sure the internet has the answers that, you know. Okay. So what about me and mayonnaise? I know all the plushes out there are like, I thought this episode was going to be about us. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just too, so my history with mayonnaise, and also this goes for tomatoes and tomato soup. Trying to think of any other foods I swore off. I mean, there's been things I've sworn off permanently. Orange creamsicles. I talked about that in the Sylvan Beach episode. And I never will go back. I mean, maybe if someone said, here's $50 to taste an orange creamsicle, I would do that. It would cost more than $50, by the way, because I know there's enough people that don't like me that actually are fans of the show that would do that. But, so I don't know why I swore off tomato soup and tomatoes, but that was another one that I swore off. And I'm not like a big consumer of tomato soup anyway, so that one's not as big a deal. But so the mayonnaise thing, this one is a pretty like, I had to learn my lesson. And it was like, actually one of the few times I listened to other people in my life. We went on a trip, I was 21, and all my friends were about that age. And we went on a trip. We had like my friend, her parents had a condo, her grandparents in Florida. So we all went down there, and none of us had any money. So we like literally consisted on turkey sandwiches, I mean, that was our, like, literally, like, that was all I think I consumed, except for maybe once in a while I had hamburgers or hot dogs or something. But, like, I was on a pretty much, like, a 70% turkey sandwich diet for however many days we were there, which felt like a week or something. Maybe it wasn't that long. But someone said to me, like, you're not going to make, like, 'cause it wasn't like, it was like the kind of dry turkey breast, right? And they were like, but if you put Dijonnaise on your bread, dude, like, it won't be so dry. And for the first time in my life, I said, okay, I'm willing to try this. I do know I like Dijon, whatever that stuff's called, mustard. So I'll try this. Now, Dijonnaise was an invention, branded invention, which was just mayonnaise and Dijon mustard mixed together, which now they have like Chipotle mayo and stuff like that. And so that was like just another thing that was out there. But yeah, so that's what got me to try that, and it worked. And then after that I said, oh, I guess I do not. I guess mayonnaise is for me. So I guess that's it about so I guess I could add those peanut butter and mayonnaise, or two other things you should keep out of contact: hard candy, gum. Obviously you don't want to try to clean, a plush friend with peanut butter. I mean, that's another one. It's just going to seep into their pores. What other things, what else should we avoid? Okay, anything sweet or sticky. Okay, so sodas. Here's one, cotton candy, right? Here's something that I'm sure people would think would be ubiquitous is not the right word. Why did that pop in my head? But I could see myself doing this, so I'll just apologize because I haven't done this. But if I had, I never had unrestricted access to cotton candy, except for at a birthday party like about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. Someone had cotton candy at their child's birthday party, a cotton candy machine. And I think I made one or two batches of it, but I didn't make a spectacle myself. But I could see that, I could see that happening where if you had like a lot of cotton candy or you had some downtime with cotton candy, giving your plush a cotton candy, hairstyle. And maybe we can do it. No, I guess we don't need candy friendly plush, but the thing is, when you've seen cotton candy sweat, like anytime cotton candy gets any kind of moisture or a high humidity, or you touch your tongue to cotton candy, something happens chemically, and that's not going to be good for plush. Plus, there's dyes in there. Plush is like, if I want to change my look, I'll change my look, but I don't need any like cotton candy blues or pinks unless I want them. Though I would say, on the other side, like most plushes would look cute with a temporary cotton candy hairstyle. But I could say, from a plush's perspective, this is like, what if we could, it's too bad I didn't think of this like an hour ago, teaching empathy and compassion through plush, like, say, well, I've always struggled with those things. Well, put yourself in the plush's shoes. Would you want someone like putting cotton candy in your hair? And I said, well, who's the person? Hold on. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I can't imagine that would feel good, after, a little while. Plus, like, yeah, would it like crystallize? That'd be like, what do you use to get cotton candy? What do you use to get crystallized cotton candy out of your hair? Almond butter? Out of like, coconut oil? Coconut oil wouldn't be actually that bad comparatively to any of this other stuff. So, okay. Okay, so we got that down. Cotton candy, most sweets, ice cream, anything else we should know about plush now that I've used up your whole episode talking about a couple of things, which is like what makes it so sweet. Pillow pet out there. But the thing was that Pillow Pet, that's how Pillow Pet did use a reusable soda mug. Sand, what do plushes feel about sand? Okay, that's another one. As much as we'd like to go to the beach with you, please don't, because, plush, you like to stay dry for the most part, right? Of course. And sand can be wet, even if it doesn't seem like it's wet. It's sandy. I mean, sand could like get into your pore, whatever. I don't know. Do you call them pores? Do plushes have pores, or you're porous? You're somewhat porous, right? Okay, so that makes sense. I could see wet grass. Okay, there's another one. I'm glad we're getting to some stuff that you really don't care for. Wet grass, dew. Okay. What about how you feel about moss? Okay, so. Yeah, I mean, moss to me. I mean, moss is, I think, something everybody should experience, even plush, once in their life. Your cheek on the moss. That was part of my poetry that your cheek on the moss. Something la loss, blah, 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 blush. Yeah, your cheek on the moss. Yeah, I could see that. Because, I mean, moss, I would say, if it's like, as long as it's how about this, moss after 11 a.m., but before 4. That's when in the lowest moisture, I think. With definitely a week after the most recent precipitation. I think that's a safe area for you to have a moss experience. Okay, moss. We covered pine. Any other major things we should know about that you really dislike? Because here's the thing, we never hear about things that plush dislike. I mean, other than like, yeah, you hold, I get it. I know most kids hold on to one of your arms and you could be more balanced. Puddles, clearly. I mean, usually, how about this? Like getting dropped in spilled milk. Talk about making crying over spilled milk more cryable. And I think my plush, that's a rough one. You're right. That, I would say, necessitates a washing. Mayonnaise, any dairy-based products or dairy alternatives. Keep them away from plush. Yeah, okay. How many industries, are there any plush-friendly industries? Dry things, couches, beds. I mean, that's usually where you're supposed to hang anyway, right? Any other things like I should know about where, how do you feel about like, here's something, I mean, this is honest truth, just thought of this, but I was thinking, a lot of you travel like Pillow Pet. Now, Pillow Pet did not have a place for this, but what about some sort of necklace where we could keep like a tag, a location-aware device, I mean, I keep those in my luggage, right? And actually, I bought like 2 decent coats because in the Bay Area, it's always kind of spring, like having a spring fall coat or I guess those are jackets. Like I put an air tag in each of those because that's what I usually lose. And anytime I pay more than, $40 or $50, I mean, it wasn't like $100, maybe it was. So like I said, I don't want to lose this coat. So I put a location tag in there. Like I think getting your plush a location tag, I mean, it's probably something some parents do anyway. But that's an idea, right? Of how would you could get it stitched inside you, which is probably the best idea. But then you need a parent, not like me, that's good at restitching you. But you could just have a zipper and then we could put it in there. I mean, that's a nice idea, right? And, I think that solves everything. And then maybe we could get, as those things advance, it'd have a moisture sensor, like a mayo proximity alert. You say mayonnaise, dairy in vicinity. Or, even like you say, okay, that's like, so that would be pretty good. Like it could send an alert to the parent's phone. Hey, your child's plush is too close to the mayo. By the way, that buffet table needs to be 15 feet. This plush needs to be 15 feet away. Like that's open mayo right there. Like you can't have a plush near yogurt. Holy cow. It did say dairy-based things. But you're right. Yogurt with like, how come mayo seems worse than yogurt, though? Is it just me, or I'd say, like, even though yogurt has its own tang, I don't know. Oh, juices. I think we could agree on that. The only thing is, it seems like a juice dries out better. I mean, I realize, like, not perfectly. So, yeah, this is great info we got from the plush of the world, and where I mostly talked about myself. Talked about gum and some other things. So I'm glad you're all here. And I hope all those plushes out there and all the people around them are sleeping well and snuggled in. And you're sending love to one another. Good night. Hey, this is Scoots. I wanted to thank a couple of people that signed up for the referral program recently, particularly one person. I want to thank Anna, who just signed up, Michael, who just signed up, Victor, who signed up recently, and Victor's kind of really well-versed in social media, and Victor already has 65 referrals. I want to thank Luca, who got their first referral. Let's see, Dustin, Andrea, Heather got their first referral. Marla got their first referral. Jess, Elizabeth, Fuchsia's got their first referral. Heather, Ruth are still working. Michael B's got his first referral. Amanda, Lisa, Jacob. So if you do sign up, make sure to share your link on a regular basis. And, just share where you regularly post stuff. Share a few times and you'll start to generate those referrals. But I appreciate it. It's a great free way to help the show out, help other people out, and you get rewarded. So you can sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And thanks everybody who listen, who supports the show on Apple Podcasts, on Sleep With Me Plus, or supports the sponsors, because that's what enables me to do this for you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, and good night.